The greatness that is within us will always outweigh the injustices that have been visited against us. Despite what we've been through for centuries, our survival is a testament to that fact. In closing, I would like to offer this quote by Nelson Mandela. And he says, "Our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizing, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. Truth begins with language." Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, tomorrow we vote on a historic resolution that will be another step in the journey of establishing truth. We stand united as Africans, whether on the continent or any part of the world, and link up with people of conscience around the world to seek truth and justice and restore the dignity and humanity of victims of the slave trade. This is a resolution of destiny. And I hope all of you will vote tomorrow to establish truth so that together we can pass this historic resolution and finally acknowledge the full horrors of these transgressions against humanity of the approximately 15 million human beings who were enslaved. I thank you very much for your attention.
We join the global community in the spirit of profound solemnity to honor the memory of the millions of African men, women, children who were victims of the transatlantic slave trade. This was not merely a dark chapter in history, it was a 400-year crime against humanity that fundamentally altered the trajectory of the African continent and the modern world. For Nigeria, this remembrance is personal. The shores from which our ancestors were taken are not merely geographical or geographic markers, they are sacred sites of memory, resilience, and unfinished justice. Confronting history requires history. The transatlantic slave trade was a systemic engine of exploitation to foil the industrial and economic rise of distant shores. Nigeria therefore maintains that true justice begins with a global curriculum that accurately reflects this history, ensuring that the roots of systemic racism and prejudices are identified and dismantled at their sources. Mr. President, advancing dignity is at the heart of our collective responsibility. As we navigate the international decade for people of African descent, we must recognize that the broken bones of slavery have manifested in modern society in systemic marginalization and racial profiling. Therefore, combating modern slavery is essential by eradicating contemporary forms of servitude, including human trafficking, which continue to stain our global conscience. Nigeria stands in solidarity with the people of African descent and calls on all member states to support the resolution to be tabled today. Supporting and voting in favor of this resolution is a roll call of conscience, reflecting where member states stand in confronting racism and advancing the reconciliation of historical injustices. Mr. President, in conclusion, we should not let this day end in reflection alone, but it should mark a renewed resolve, a collective commitment to transform memory into action, injustice into equity, and pain into purpose. In doing so, we affirm not only the dignity of those who were lost, but the promise of those who carry their legacy forward. I thank you.
The call for remembrance today is a reminder to all states of their duty to uphold historical truth and ensure legal accountability. As Pope Leo stated, since apostolic times, the Church has seen the liberation of the oppressed as a sign of the kingdom of God. This mission of liberation has continued throughout the centuries through concrete actions, especially when the tragedy of slavery and imprisonment has marked entire societies. These convictions have been expressed in numerous papal documents. For example, as early as 1435, Pope Eugene IV condemned the enslavement of the inhabitants of the Canary Islands and excommunicated those who refused to free them. Subsequently, in 1888, Pope Leo XIII condemned slavery as contrary to the Christian values, recalling that God, having created man a reasonable being and after his own likeness, he wished that he should rule only over the brute creation and not be the master of man. Mr. President, the draft declaration under consideration contains a partial narrative which regrettably does not serve the cause of truth. Historical memory, when based on accurate and impartial historical information, together with education and awareness raising, plays a fundamental role in preventing the recurrence of such grave scourges of humanity. At the same time, it is important to reaffirm that under international law, modern slavery constitutes a crime against humanity when committed as a part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against a civilian population. Therefore, the Holy See reaffirms that no one should be held in slavery or servitude as set out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Mr. President, allow me to conclude with the words of Pope Leo, who reminded us that the freedom that Christ gave us is not only interior, it manifests itself in history as love that cares for and frees us from every bond of slavery. Thank you.
I thank
March 2026. Or the official time now, just 14 minutes past the hour 6. And live on Today Ghana News TV. We are back again into the studios for some engaging topics I ever discuss here and waba memo we be a kwaba ne aju abadwumede we so bibi amuti efibia no yedamase make I must say today Ghana News TV we are still in our fifth anniversary celebration or yegusua yidi we are still on it and to share a summary me me boss na ne omo ye show today Ghana News TV now we are all 5 years forget your age and we are all 5 years and we are still in celebration. You better must say so many nano munya butra na muni etina ya mo so efi e be si ene dwumede we so no yetena se a munim se Ghana ho ensensem nkomo na de brem na ye hwema mpanifo atena se omo so munim die ne de omo bia no mde acheche won so wo akwanya se bibia wo hwe enumre bia no wo de wadwen kire e be ba nemum ade ba akona me se wonya akwanya na oba ye streaming platform so of Facebook, on Twitch or any of our streaming platforms now. Make sure say over share na dwumede no akwa echi na wonu bi so baby a summary no wonu no ye station na ye ne omo ahwibum obenye bi ahwe no so di na dwunkyeraba because wonso mo ni nipa na nyansa so de eni ba kofo tirim nti wo de oba make sure you share the program for other people to get the opportunity to also contribute to their voice to what we are discussing tonight. Make I say the program is live via Twitch on the satellite, on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, no so who the search handle is Today Ghana News TV. But you media yedi na no we because so we share. Make sure you share. Share na fa wadun chebra. You benya butra kama. Fine FM ewa Chim Hemai 93.5 and also associate channel as Amri mo so yasene omu pia dwumede no eko Achim Eastern region ho ne nkrabata ina no omu guso a epia eko nti dwumede no edem live ho no saso na Kings Radio ewa Accra, Jamframa TV ewa Rara in UT region, Sekina Information Center Capital Northern Ghana, Samson Adeleman Community Information Center so Samri we are live and we are live and loud. Fans TV ewa Flow in the Volta region. These are the channels as I'm no omo abeka ye ho aye push dwumede no ekwa mmemmia msrewo asrewo biem safi na wabedwane ya amema wakwa aba na mekai say unya ba dwumede nso ampacho share na show ntimi indra for so nchen. You know say social media has no boundaries nti baby anipa no obia no benye bia hwe no so di na dwenchaba medam ase se mo be no sa amame na ndem nsem kra no. Let me take you straight to the front page of the Evening Tribune, Ghana's only watchdog. Summary no, the Evening Tribune no, you made any ewo baby Ghana hand na the econo, you need the chira yedi mu and some eba. Now wouldn't say yes to the intro. Pefi no cre and I ediba. So these are some of the news I make headways front page. Muhammad leads Africa moral voice at UN. We and someone we is one of them, and they ever show come Samri no. We are a Kamwasem, we are a Kamwasem, as a Panakasan. Okay, so no fees, no bribe. Next, Baumia government to reform security recruitment. We Dr. Bongo statement to make here. No fees, no bribe. Say. What na say we say fees in cry ye security service no I say bribe nke say banisa no so man we abanisa Dr. Bongo Masood assure me say Dr. Baumia ba we make sure say any man Ghanaian youth be in fact regardless of the political colors. I feel this is a laudable way if CBT may implement inquiry and kebebwa. Court stops Akosua Sewa from organizing Daddy Lumbe's celebration of life event in Accra. And this has got to do with legend as Amewunya, the baby got that lumba, new witch acquaintance and seminar the idea. Near Penia or the Kaya Kosua Sewana assembly. Nka only papa she akabuma mobile celebration of life. Samri court at the junction at so say Bibia Ecos Biabunya. NPP cheap cocoa propaganda will backfire. NPP cheap propaganda on cocoa. Cheap cocoa propaganda will backfire. We if you Dennis andana na ekasa. Okay, so and then I think there are a lot of the stories I would want to touch on. So in the middle page of the window, see David Tribune, Ashanti slipping from NPP grip, diaspora voice backs Amwakohene site development surge. Diaspora voice, no, Samre Omuna Kamano Abum, and I'm back here, Ashanti Regional Minister Amwakohene. And I'll say, can I say NDC no, NPP no, Omu free, Asantemai free NPP in same nature say, voting I kwama. But for Oshe government deploys AI X-ray gen expert machine to fight TB. We, if we Dr. Grace Anyusu Dankwa, Deputy Minister of Health, who doubles as the NP for Esikado Ketan constituency, NHGono. Government deploys AI X-rays gen expert machines to fight TB. And I just say, Mama, Membono, NDC and Membono. Their healthcare da umakoma so pa na we a new technology or model by fight TB tuberculosis. We near moon some bebre or hunting. So maybe I will be an compare the Evening Tribune newspaper be that kind. Now so who the course of Ghana. Whom the course of Mahama leads African moral voice at UN. So yentimi kind stories ni na wa ha emma nemum the evening newspaper no Mr. Onebo anya den kra be a wo Ghana ha bia no ubetimi enye bi na wakan ubetimi enye bi na wakan NPP nti bacho ene down baby a wo bia no make sure say we copy bi na wakan. These are some of the stories it me capture with the Evening News Tribune newspaper no and Mr. Kope bi na kan e bo no dey send meeting kan catch on ne bo anya den kra no. Go and read and abreast yourself, know what is happening in Ghana. Mr. Namumbo shi na me found Beyond Makeup. Na me found Francis Consult. Na me ba me penny for atina say Dr. Masoud Abungu Sasuna ya can do our studio. They are ready for us to dissect and bisect all the issues and then be table for discussion. No. Nti me ba me penny for me engage mu na nkomana say my yenko Beyond Makeup. Na me found Francis Consult in here.
Welcome. Welcome to Beyond Makeup, where beauty and confidence are taken to a whole new level. Here, we pamper and take care of you like royalty. Enjoy our gentle waxing, refreshing facials, and soothing massages that melt away stress and leave your skin glowing. We also offer professional makeup services, manicures, pedicures, durable nail extensions, and perfectly sculpted ombre brows. We give you the most perfect soft lashes that highlight your natural beauty. At Beyond Makeup, every visit is more than just a service. It's an experience of care, elegance, and transformation. Locate us at Chado Last Stop or call us on 0559 933 505 or 0506 474 911. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Beyond Makeup, your journey to wellness starts here.
Oh, say yay! The African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026. Society, Yapa Huntim of Francis Consuls, Eto Esa Afro Esbitesa, and what Ghana, any Africa, some showcase creativity, and what global stage. So we are artists, fashion designer, chef, musician, and empo, cultural entrepreneur, and woman. So what the African young creativity ever the global stage ever Europe. Ya boy ya pomo atuho. Ya show registration I say and it's 2% participate. And now on getting more information there. Any other contact in our home so +374 558 508 11 and +233 542 545 815. Following our Facebook open and sembisa ana bibi piada efa ye ho obetimi I email and so ewo African Cultural Festival 2018 at gmail.com. African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival Armenia 2026 made of way. Africa on display. Culture without borders. Yeah, that was it, baby.
You really saw or for Mamfa on copy mo Antara Bloom. Antara Bloom, event organization. Summary no Jumedia Mudina dem for a strong co. Na Jumedia last year almost started a visit a brick, taste a brick. Yame Adoma this year, so you call a brick na free hill no. Na Easter, you call experiences something different with the friends, our families, with our loved ones, no. We tourism and festival culture summary no. Every Easter be happening every this year no ya share from kokra nyame adoma Good Friday ebaso at the 3rd of April no Mr. Old School Heritage Day no course den we bri Mr. who Accra ne empate mu wo Ekuapem South ne East ne West ne dey account am so yi na dey atrim ewo ebri nyame adoma Saturday on the 4th of April no so there's a live band a night experience. So come papa. Don't miss out. Baby, I won't cry. And Pacho, Bombodi Afro. We know you don't have to even spend much to get to a brick. Who Madina, who are crabby Biana. It's just something small to get up on the hill. Now, also no family, no friends. Munko chili kakra. No experience a brick weather no. Now mo enjoy a brick, mo visit a brick, na mo tasty a brick. Sounds on a rep your Jesse Saturday on the 4th no. A basu din faith. Repio Jesse is on the faith. Ebe kama games and night fashion show nina e basu. Nina all these events are maybe na happen in the Ibri Botanical Gardens. On the Monday no, Michelle ebe ni sangasa outdoor games name artist night no. Headline artist dasu a dope nation. Michelle 3 days from the 3rd to the 5th a free name set no Easter Monday no Michelle. Just 300 cities for a family of 5 and 70 cities ticket. Just grab your ticket now, family, friends. Munko have a good time in Ebri. Antara Bloom say visit Ebri, taste Ebri. It's Easter with Michelle. Muna ya fruso wana ya kujeni. Mimpeni for at nase na and then some yebe chon komono. It has got to do with what is happening now. Even in the international stage, and for Kasa about Ghana. Our leader, our President John Dramani Mahama, President Mahama, EcoPM ewo UN. Before we started the show, we played some videos and it was quite inspiring. It has got some people talking. Let me give you a brief background of how the whole thing is. Now, me engage Dr. Masuda Bungu. Hey, Mr. Mume introduce mo doc. Mema akwaba. Sansuna yaw. Maka Mr. Mo doctor chairman for the NPP Russia branch. And they eyes open them kakra na ma mirash no doc. So eyes doc akwaba. Doc akwaba. Doc Michel. Sansuna Edinam Biao Usu Agbe, Ekuapem South NDC Communications team member. Edinam Abekayan said in the studios, Mimamuina Kwaba ni Aju Ebahano. On the international stage, people are talking. Let me give you a brief background. So on the 25th of March 2026, President John Dramani Mahama in his capacity as the African Union champion for reparations, led a historic call at the United Nations to formally recognize the transatlantic slave trade as a greatest crime against humanity. I want her to let me engage Doc on this to talk about the significance of this call that was made at the UN. About what do you call it? The supporter so far. How is it? The conversation wasn't just even centered about Ghana, but as a Black community as a whole. Doc, let's talk about the relevance of this conversation.
Okay, Lawrence, Midawasi. I mean, for this opportunity, cheer, utie for baby Omovia, Michiobia. I mean, for this opportunity, cheer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We know, say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our presentation of our United Kingdom, and on the 28th of our presentation. And Michiani said, you know, or Johnny Ghana youth, me nice sequence, me go ready a move and check for. We did brief na meka because me go na studio me go interview or home too. We did move and check me.
Don't worry.
John Dramani Mama eko kaya no na obia eka ho asem no. Me gidi say this is not the first time you're present I akasa asem. Osha you can about the history of you talk about the history of African revolution, and I said, you ever gain independence? I'm Africans. Ghana, yeah, be paying. Osha, since Dr. Kwame Nkrumah or Omaka about the slave trade, about imperialism. Kwame Nkrumah can what some sa Emani Beji independence in Ghana. And the recent passing so Nana Akufo-Addo, Waka Wasempen, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Dr. Mahmoud so call you and Okan Wasem. Inti near current president John Dramani Mahama Akanu is in good order. And I am there and I'm proud, say as a Ghanaian, I president and no credit be no account. As a president and the foreign minister, what me I decided in Echo Parliament. Emma vote here. As I make almost 153 that voted in favor of the resolution and 3 abstaining and say if 13 abstaining and 3 voting against it. So it's in good order. And Ghana took baby also Ghana as the gateway of Africa. Many say Ghana, but all I can say is former president Nana Akufo-Addo can once and other president I can once and it's not that extra something new. But John Mahama, let's not forget, or a communicator, and he knows how to communicate. So it's credit to him. Say what Miaka Ubia Eka Mwasem. Say Ghana for Sube Kaya. Emrebi Emma Nana Akufo-Addo, or France, and or can assembly, or can say Ghana beyond aid, or can say a new point say Europeans ever my Busia. I was saying you mum Busia and a bit my and also a trend pa. I'm proud. Say a president every year go or yes Adiano. And to be particular, I also give credit to Okujota Blackwa. He's a bold person and Oka on slow pay is why my money credit. But this is nothing new. But let's give credit to Ghana for bringing this one effort. They take credit with Ghana. That's it.
Look, I think say you've made a candid opinion because of our time, Ninti. I'll move straight to the second topic. Now, what share what before we even let you go? Now, yeah, we have na President Ekwakwaye na de na Lincoln University friends and but you shared your way ever since you came into power now. It's like you brought a new vibe and a new energy. As you've been able to manage the economy well. I frɛ papa ibo na ba so kama. You know, na yedi ho adanse we asi na ho bi. It got people talking. And afi omubaye ya withdraw a doctorate on an idema because of his stance on the LGBT. This is what people are talking about. First of all, let's talk about the stance of the president in regards to LGBT. And secondly, you can educate us more, because I want us to touch on why, as at now, the bill has not been sent, but we are still firm we are still firm when it comes to not accepting LGBT to be legalized in our country.
Lawrence me that's pa eba LBGT me obi a me wo Russia. And Russia for Omaka. He said no. Putin Saudi we no or can say in some phone it from Fanchem. It's some phone pa say or no sorry no himself family is mother, father, or a woman and a man and the children and their family. And you can say family be your family and also by your family. And at the same thing, okay LBGT Ghana etia your culture tradition so Ghana ni culture say bema betima wari bema and also ba betima wari bema enti eyatia Ghana nkasa ekutie ho. But Orange, let's not forget the LBGT no they are in advanced country and omo tumi pa they are powerful omo advanced country and no was say kai and they are playing bigger role. To see an LBGT no it has become geopolitics. And omo feel say omo fundamental human right. And they are very powerful in such a way that omo ye sponsor and esika fonso e wo mu a omo ye saade no. Ento omo esika. And you know, sika timiye niema bebre. Sika etimiye niema bebre. Sesi a me no kan yi. Ghana Parliament at times time and na concern be pass it. But World Bank and the Western countries, me kind of Western countries, Europeans and America. Omoma legalize idea no. Enti enu no so mo dey force here. Say engine to omoma head. But that should not influence us. Enti meniaje say Ghana ya jina so say idea no yemfo so ene yemfo so echina. But I'm surprised. Say John Mama say a man award because of your standing in tea award in your farmer no. Ono so or sign idea no. And I don't know whether he's going forward, he's coming back, he's turning central, he's going left or right. Because our opposition, or can one say being there, the bar, you ever pass it. Emma speak up and just say bill so or no there, young for so the bill must pass. Since here and the Lord is a 2 years, no. You who she passing bill ever pass it here. At least one day pay and then who say parliament I pass a bill. Says here, the monopoly of Ghana Law School, no, any age mobium. Other universities are more law faculties and actual mutual law students, no. On betting me, I set it up actually law student, the professional law. So the answer no be here from the institution, no. For example, University of Ghana, no, on come a collegium, he become a lawyer and be called, that person will be called to the bar, right? On my passing law, no. And to me, near Etriomo. NDC, overwhelming majority are still omuntimi pass law. Yam pa say John Mahama say LBGT ni be influencing no say NDC for MPs na more parliament be influence omuntimi pass dia mintimi kan because opposition ne kan ya no and the leading vocal stubborn academy akora no friend Jata on a lead on a kangaroo. What's Stubborn Academy or Stubborn Academy? Some know the Stubborn Academy group or more and a normal leader of parliament. But they say, why on Casabio? Because now a year to a sort for him penny no Casa says here no or by means of communication. And I didn't say young pass here, meaning no, why and when I'm a Ghana for months, so we say NDC for Obi and Ada. Person me pass here there no LBGT for no mako jo musika because some can say person be pass because your Western influence here. And also about almost a common no. Almost Omako Jiska, I won't person may pass it, Lawrence. But it's unfortunate, say, come on my president now order or my family because of LBGT. So say see an obafia on signing Namuso Bema. One sign it ya media Miss Mefo say almost LBGT for no or my influence almost say a moment pass it and it's no much sound. Or my pass it there, Miss Media Sanity.
But Doc, was it necessary for them to reverse a only doctrine on the man?
Oh, it was not necessary because the president is a president. It's the whole majority of Ghanaians that say we don't like the LGBT. President no need to me. President is weak because on to me force him on pass it. Kaya dia was signing some man pass it ya. Na komu muka just some from Mandia, kamika say West or a Bema. What one pass idea and so on forces some from Brand man and sign it so. Enti mi ankasankasa mi ntimi nkasa o why adie there be on adie kopim say mehu say adie no parliament a pass om dia Ghana sign amana a law say yemfo LBGT ndie me man credit Lawrence. That's it.
Doc, I think the beja muna engage on this. If there's a chance that you join again, then let us know. Then we
Okay.
pick your yes. So I mean call yawo. Okay, so I'll take this.
Our friends just passed their law in Uganda. We may not go the way they have gone because our constitution is very clear as to the direction we should move. And so we'll be guided by that. Because if we pass any law against the constitution, it's unconstitutional. So we have to do that. And so what are you afraid of? If you have the whole people behind you, if God is with you, who can be against you? And if God says, please go into the wilderness, multiply and fill the world, that is God giving you that command. If somebody says, please don't multiply, how can that person be strong? I don't only speak this way in Ghana. Even at the last meeting we attended in IPU at Bahrain, anybody who listened to my speech, there were sentences on this matter. Luckily, maybe because it's a Muslim country, they applauded me. If they're somewhere else, they will be asking questions. As the vice president just did, is it yesterday? I mean, these things should not be tolerated. That is undemocratic. What is democracy? That somebody else will have to dictate to me as to what is good and what is bad? Unheard of. Because we have decided to devalue ourselves and go a begging. Come on, we have more than enough. God has created more than enough for every person. It's just because you are looking at somebody else's share, not yours. We have enough in the world. The bill will be passed. This is the word to His Excellency the President. There is no way he can intervene. That answer he gave. That is now before Parliament. And when he gets to a stage that he will come in, hey, please. This is legislation. This is not execution. Wait until we pass it and then we direct you to execute it. That is why you come in. That is why we are representatives of the people. So in terms of law, which is part of policy, we finalize it. And then the executive now have the authority to implement it, to execute it. Let's get this clear. Once this bill is before here, he is not in charge. I am in charge. I hope the U.S. Vice President is not yet gone.
We throwback video a boy. He is not in charge. I am in charge. I'm quoting the Speaker of Parliament, right? Many Ghanaians are talking. In fact, one of the questions Amian Kasana Ekosoma Dream say, if the president it's me a firm enough, it's me a bold enough. Eddie only doctorate now to so meaning say doctorate now no more demand, it was a way of luring him to say yes. If it was a way of trying to drag him to say yes, we accept. Now with me ejiza abosbade ato now I FM aka say oh dabi say ka we nkwa de ne Ghana de we are not ready for this. Now say it was a trap. And so why is it that still bill no yentimi pass here? Why is it that still now bill no yentimi impasse here? What then let's stop here as Ghanaians? Then let's stop here as Ghanaians. Then yentimi impasse bill no. Or therefore, this is a serious issue, right? In fact, personally, president, we are all applauding the president for a bold decision make. Now, so it doesn't end there. In Siwa, now I'm expecting say by now, no, by now, no, nanka bill ni pass dada. Nanka by now, bill ni pass dada. At the time, Sam George, Honorable, was very vocal on this. As Ghanaians as we are, we say we are a Christian country, even though that's not what it is. But say na terms say Ghana a Christian country. I didn't know entertaining bill that them up to now. I'm painful to me signing. What is preventing us? What is stopping us? Is it because and is it true that the more pass a bill now? There are some aids that we are not going to get. And the press now. And the press said there are some international collaborations that is going to cease. Is it true? What is stopping us? For me, in as much as I applaud the president for a bold decision making, it still doesn't tally. It still doesn't tally. If you are no, na say embrana say yam pass no, embrana yentimi pass ya. Na say kwaya na buy. That is the problem here. This is the questions I have my dream in TSS. Or if I'm giving you opportunity to join in tonight's show, and Mami watching chair on the program. In fact, topics me are discussing and who are kunya. And today I'm going to make sure that every message be over send the piano. In fact, it's high time we start picking calls on the show. Maybe we'll think about that and try and fix you in. We'll see about that and fix you in. Because there are some people who are itching to talk. Maybe I sometimes typing no, a long mama. A long mama. Why? Said Bill, during the time of the NPP, a lot of things were said, a lot of voices were raised, and and up till now, 2 years into the administration of the NDC, it still baffles. Anyways, before I engage Yao in the studio, no, let me see if I've got some messages on Facebook or on Twitch. Right after that, I will involve Yao in the conversation. Na share the echo. Let me see if I've got some messages on Facebook. Or for my car said it's still no crime reliable on Today Ghana News TV. What kind of internet and so and I sent in so let's say pass or share you na afufuo so amuhwe no afufuo so nyi bi ahwe no mo de omwadwen chabe boom. John Mahama is the man of the moment. Ghana and Africa are very proud of you. Greetings from Amsterdam, Holland. With NDC Diaspora Union one eba but that's it. Nah, I say Frimpong Baby says God richly bless President John Dramani Mahama of this initiative. He is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah II, watching from Akusi. With Frimpong Baby and the boss say Yamisha John Yeman John Dramani Mahama na I saw only Kwame Nkrumah II Ibinya no penso ya yimbe Kwame Nkrumah no represented. Mavis Watson says Ghana is shining again. In fact, Ghana is shining again. Ampa. Saying that second sepa Nkwama Mamping John Dramani Mahama. Lady Mao says watching on Twitch from St. Petersburg, Russia. I'm very much proud to be an African and for that matter a Ghanaian. Greetings to Dr. Abongo and the whole show crew. Bacho Ina say Lady Mao. Nko so ahwe Monshe Jumedieno. And let's show now, we want a wider audience. We want everybody's voice to be heard. Into your mama, make sure you share to your people, your friends, and loved ones. Where if it's a Kappa family, or say the USA University should keep their award. I want to say Munsum award in their Mamonje. We keep our John Mahama. We are very proud of our culture and identity. Watching from Jumaponia Kufurubia. Sikapaya that's what it US for they say award the Abayanka Mumfa to them. Nam Futrumbong sa na Yemfa John Dramani Mahama sa. Na as Africans we are very proud for our culture. Jamframa TV says good evening, watching from Rara in the UT region. John Dramani Mahama is the hope. Jamframa TV for them. Rara for more to say. Mr. Mo, mon share you made na enko chiripa and then show no there. Me here will be agent on board. Me here will be agent on board. I say well spoken, Dr. Abongo. I doff my heart for President John Mahama, watching from Suhum in the Eastern region. Kweku yebu mo ti say but kweku mon share you made no. Na LGBT one sama and dey yedi enkomo no. It's a serious topic. Na Ubi Afara Jin Chambra. Fremo says watching from Manchenia, who God bless John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. Yamisha Ubi ordinary Eba Yaw Edinam Owusu a communications team member from South NDC. I didn't remember joining and let me go straight to Yaw Akwaba. Yaw.
Yo, ebusianfo majo yada obi biara se ene de nsu etumi ehye bio yo minua beje woso
koso
epiapem sa atade boko enam omampen John Dramani Mahama amemwo papa ene honorable Lorisha George wonu ninyuma pa ene MC honorable Paul Osain ene NDC amenyoku a ya tumi aboabo ya ho ahwe se epiapem sa betumi afa ne tuma pa French no hada di bibia aboko ha
nyame adom yeso ye hoye na nyame adom a inste me bemu ebri mate se obe host me nti me friends ni madofo na yeba munye ntum na ye na ye di Istanbul. Yeah, I think you are preview to the topics I are discussing in May. Now earlier on we started with the John Dramani Mahama. Ne ensama okopim e wo UN or the two ja. Amasa me e bi mine Ghana na heli no ebo nsema no. And these are some of the things I hear discussing. Now, as Bibini, as Ghana, President Emekisa, we just want to have your take on the significance of the caller, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana Mampeni, Echo Meki. I want your take on it as Bibini.
But that's it. Now, I can reparation resolution. I am paying Pino, as I say to me, maybe I say, why the call? What was the necessity for this? It's in the who here now, SSA to me and make it our call. I trace back from history. Because we use scientific approach to understand the modern system. Let's say to me go back. Some 1800 years ago, meaning says slavery was very dominant within the system. Now, and you say I started because you say social studies simple. During our previous forefathers' days, we were in communal system. The communal system enables us to practice persistent engagement. But during 1884, one Otto von Bismarck, German Chancellor, Echo Berlin, and they were able to divide the continent of Africa. And these are some of the emergence that started the slavery system. And within the slavery system, young Mampeni, Jodromani Kai said there were about 13 million people. Actually, the figure was 12.6 million. It is at 12.6 million. Yes, say, answer the Ubenya Unipa Baku, Acheno, say, who didn't echo slavery. It is a Ukunipa 3. It is at 12.6 and I said 30 million or can that is not the issue. The issue is that this 12.6 and I said 30 million times 4 people. You multiply it by times 4, you will get 50.4 million. How? This is a huge catastrophe. 50.4 million people are that they were used without their consent, without no paid labor, unsafe labor, and this is the polar we are giving to international world. If we say human rights exist, na say kasi e pese ye boa na kedimami kedi amembu na international and trade ni sanya mani na yaku enima na me gidi say the call was right, and now ayetumia passes our resolution. It gives a step further to probe and look at what quantify for a reproductive justice, what exactly commodified for a justice, whether it is cash, whether it is other activities. Until now, it has opened the floor. Now we are affirming the truth and adopting a route for reproductive justice. All these things have exposed our legacy of inequality and racism. And this is key. For countries that we want to move forward, we want to progress, we need to acknowledge we can't change the past, but we can work with the information of the past to correct our present and move forward as a nation. Intermediate say, as a papa, by let's say NPP for no say, Ekufo starting 2023. Oh, Honorable John Dramani Mahama, Okasana Kasan, Omeki emphatic say this call started 2 decades ago. So 2 decades ago, how can you give credit to a talking government that does not act? But here we have a visionary leader acting upon his rules and regulations. And I think this is a feather in the cap to the statesmanship of our current president John Dramani Mahama. And immediately says, "Asem we in Africa for nyina yesum yi na wo hwe amangwa omontumi a supporting Israel, Argentina, the United States na esese boyan koko. Sanyama we se boyan koko se yeko yenim no ade biara ebetumi aboa ama Africa yetumi agina brade se nipa ba ko no immediately say yes anyama na ebeboa ne yako yenim."
Obinso say, yes, the call was right, just like you intimated now. I beg him. Why do we have to bring it back? And what can we do? Say if it is right, as we are going back talking about the past, what benefit will it even bring?
You, Senya Mekayano, sometimes, this is the right moment for us to discuss that benefit. It is a step-by-step approach. Now we wanted the world to acknowledge that indeed something serious has been done and a grave, and disadvantage has been caused to the African continent. So Sisiana, passes a resolution. Now we can go in, say what is due. Say Namidi can carry and say, then NSF as a reparative justice. Are we looking for money? Which I believe is not the way forward. Other things, do you know? Say, England, the King of England, ceremonial, sir, funny saying, some, I did not all the call around here, they are all made of gold, pure gold. Some gold from Cape Coast. Those gold were from Cape Coast. It is a reparative. I think it is a right question for some of these things, and this is the opportunity. As the call has come, I think we'll move a step further now to quantify or commodify what actually is near SFA.
Yaw awmano article kakra na yaw epa mu ina ne say to be able to appreciate a baby and now to be able to know where you are heading towards, you need to appreciate your path. That is the importance of our history now. Yeah, I think you are back on the line. Yeah.
But are you?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead with the point. Yeah. Okay. So it is very important as Africans to know our history. Yeah, if you are back, you can just make your point. It is very important to know our history as Africans. So that you are wedding country mono. If there's any ceremony cry UK, the president international na say if Africa. Abrofo di eka Trump blacks in our America. Because if you look at the Western world, and normally they build the Western world to make the Western world who and what they are today, are all blacks who made it possible. And you can trace from history up to now. Even when you are in the States, who are America, look at all the great singers are America, well, most of them are blacks. Said the America FN, said the UK FN, and some other part of the Western world FN, it was the toil of the black man. Slavery. So if the president is making this call now, just like you rightly mentioned, it is a time to quantify the outcome. And I don't know what the compensation will be. And this is why it is important that tonight you join our show. Now, so far, I don't share. Now, because the nation there, the topics you are handling are very critical topics, crucial ones. I'll be very pleased. The LGBT topic is a very important topic, and what we are discussing today as Africans, appreciating our history, knowing where we came from and where we are heading towards, is also necessary. It's important. If you join us online, please, I appreciate that you've joined, but don't be selfish. Share you made into me and quite enough for so in your mind and for one better. Yeah, can Nanyansa ni back for three. Yeah, you are back on the line. Yeah, you are back on the line. You are making some points. Yeah, what's the maker?
You, it's not me say yes, share, but for you.
To also,
it's me say yes, share, sir, adia, say, among Nina Behu, sir, adia, say 25th March of every year, piano, a International Day of Remembrance for the injustice, for the racism, for the inequality that have been perpetuated on the African continent. Mind you, some of them went and worked in farms, hard labor. They didn't pay them anything. Our forefathers worked for hundreds of years. Oh, yeah, hundreds of years. Build, establish it. So American research organizations, other places. You see blacks there. You see Africans there. I don't want to mention country by country, but it is about African transatlantic slave trade. And it is a big issue. It's me where they say African country beer or by this and I'm surprised say politics. This is not about politics. This is about human rights and human to make take it into consideration. It is the way forward is that now the world has accepted this, the UN has accepted this, and the way forward is that how are we going to set the models? And what really would be the justice? I think this is a conversation. I say we also kind of countries, African Union, and to me, to me, now, as a visionary leader, we think say, President Mahama say we to me to Sana Moyi. Now he come back and say no kind said this is the time for takeoff. No, I think the takeoff was in the right direction, and this direction is going to propel. No wonder. Anyone wants to say now African Union has been. He will go on anonymous as the chair.
Doc, yeah, that's there. What back? I think the previous president who came from your government, NPP, and so making way. You saw how passionate you was talking about this particular issue. Doc, are you trying to make politics out of this?
No, I'm not trying to make politics out of it. I'm trying to put it on the historical perspective as it has been. And intina Misha say no, man shall say from MPP. Me can say come time cry. No, sorry.
Don't worry.
Come time no. Now almost fighting for the same thing. And that is why they even fought and they gained independence. Right. The enemies are the bar say Oshe Kufuor timer or no so okan wansem. And Oshe the current issue near John Mama Koye. Nana Akufo-Addo can wansem said time has shown that they should pay representation to Africans, especially during the slave trade. It is something that yeah. Into so kaya. Yeah, it's an initiative from Africans now. Omudi slave trade now. To see any baby now, but then citizens in be it Brazil, be it USA, be it Canada, or Mauritania. And the government yes approve of returning. This is all the same issue. But never be kind and say, John Mama and Kujota Black. They shouldn't make it as if say no initiative at the end of first time. And now me person me make it the point say and no initiative initiation started long time and typically say on be tria African Sikano. Nana Akufo-Addo and started it should be our be and with my Google paying of representation to Africans for the slave trade. O Google Nana Akufo-Addo videos are okay. SSR no crown organizing or Africa Ghana and okay. Either to become Peace Hotel. No Ghana no okay. Or made this statement to say a time as soon. So say Europeans now use Africans. But the slave trade time as so compensate here for doing that what happened. And I mean I can say maybe President Nabaso. Because at the end of the day, Ghana and or they took the landline. Man, fact say NDC and NPP. Can because say NDC and NPP there. And the second say because say Danko budget tradition. Danko budget tradition. NAG Ghana is CEO.
I didn't make us out. Ushe call me Kuruma. Yet, Dankwa, inviting man to join UGCC. Or join UGCC as a general secretary and or team on CPP and or DG independence. Etika UGCC, I Danko Buja, common invite come Kuruma Bagana, Kodatu Abuchri. If you Kobaya Kokra Abuchri, come Bagana cry. Intermediate say, man, find your politics. So we politics every day, NPP budget credit. Every time, NPP. Because we share the political history of Ghana, you can't take away UGCC. And UGCC, you can't mention UGC without mentioning Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, without mentioning Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, without mentioning JB Dankwa, without mentioning Jacob Lamte, without mentioning Akufo-Addo, Nimba, ever president, honestly, why president pen. You can't talk about UGCC without mentioning these big six. That is Jacob Lamte. Jacob Lamte, so Eba, yeah, NPP party chairman. So Eba creditor, Eba say African fight for African freedom, Eba say fighting against the imperialism, NPP, they be a better first. But I'm not doing politics about it. Intermediate credit, Emma, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I'm starting credit, my president, somebody Ghana, I bet took BBA down. Because Ghana din Akosro. It's about Ghana. If you go outside the international world, it's not about NDC, NPP, it's about Ghana. And I'm saying, say, I dare see, UN, it's about Ghana. So I give credit to whoever presented Ghana there and whoever put Ghana's name high. I give credit to that person.
Doc, you earlier touched on the significance of this particular call by the president on that international platform. Now, let's look at some of the benefits Phyllis said after this call it can bring to Africa, Ghana and Africa at large.
I've spoken to your boy, Peter. So that's Peter. I'll go back to you. Hello.
Yeah, Doc.
Yes.
We've earlier touched on the significance of this particular call on the big international platform. Now let's talk about the benefits we can get after this call.
Yes. So, your country and that international level, you raise issues. That country supports you. First of all, who raise the level of your country credibility, and at the same time, so among for a respectful country, who say some time ago, Utukwanya, let me set it an example. Time when I call Russia first, 2010. Go for Bissem same frame. You can't say Ghana, it won't be say na ho airport or you can say na airport in Ghana, no who say me then meet me ba. Minantiana, it is to me be say story building or Ghana. Some silly questions. If you walk around Monty Ghana dinda, if you want to be a football, no more Ghana din. But I didn't say, was a Ghana din, but trendy. So, BBC, Ghana trendy. You should see Ghana trendy. Into Emma, I'm off the country Ghana. And the two, once who the country Ghana, and then we acquire corner. About investors, and international institutions, I did beyond Ghana Biano. About said, no, this is a country that the people in the country are well enlightened. And if you are enlightened, they be almost true. Because if you are enlightened, people are afraid to cheat you. Almost you, right? It's a boy coin be so in the kind one, a boy investors. Some person invest in Ghana. Almost say no, Ghana is a country that knows the rules and the regulations. Ghana is a country that on more confidence, international world, PVC, they can go to the international platform to speak about it. And everybody, the investor confidence, some member Ghana by then, ever investing. And the two, so it will sell the name Ghana on the international level. And a three, it will let other developed countries respect the country Ghana. Because we should say USA. First, call me somewhere, make us say, oh, yeah, more head. Who does have something by a neglect? Who does have something by sabotage? Now, Ghana is beyond that. So it is not telling the developed world, say Ghana and Africa is capable of managing its own affairs. As Dr. Kwame Nkrumah echoed some time ago that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's totally linked to Africa freedom, right? And we are fighting for the freedom of Africa. Say they should pay compensation for the slave trade, and they should take the slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity, right? So, Sana,
all right. Mamemfa messages be so far no but and then me dinka shamo say.
You see, no, beside me say, Chairman, what made Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to leave to leave UGCC? It's simple. You see, when we formed the UGCC, they were still fighting for independence. But in Kwame Nkrumah's view, no believe he said, you caught slowly, right? That is the history that we know. And he was saying that self-government now, while the UGCC, Ebimka said they were saying that self-government within the shortest possible time, right? So it's almost the same. And then Kwame Nkrumah, forming CPPP. But that is not even the issue here. The issue here is UGCC make Kwame Nkrumah who he is in Ghana, because some of them didn't buy and obey a general secretary. And no didn't who did. I can say me say NPP is making me who I am. Make some NPP. Omoko Promiko NPP. BBBI NPP. And you can't take it. So Yami Wana Bia Yakofa Samba, Namiko Bibia, but me the NPP Nana Metina, a one may made me woo NPP. Me free NPP that because I'm a loyal member. But you call me Kuma or me free and UGC echo for me in CPP. So as such, being a money free hormone, I believe say it's just the ideology or the time to gain independence. If you say as I'm working with the team, I was working slowly, so I wanted to go alone and maybe sana money
Mami acknowledge yaw aloya. Mami acknowledge Robert Kimpe. Sanso na Ghana himfie Robert Dennis Andaba yaw biu. Mpacho me humu ina mu make sure say na dwumedi no mu share manako ekyire. Na 5 years in the no man na ehwa bom. Yaw is back on the line. Doc, I think Majo Wajun Chema main ko yaw so na yan touch on the issue of LGBT. In fact, like I've intimated earlier, no, I'm very proud of the president said ultimately turning down this offer because I felt the honorary doctorate honorary no was just a trap for him to say yes, and for him to lay down. For him to reject this kind of offer, just to say no, it's a step in the right direction. Now, so questions are Ebimu, Ebisa, critical thinkers, Ebisa. If the president can denounce this, if the president can reject the honorary doctorate, now after LGBT, we are not so the parliament are what is stopping us? What is the problem? Because I say, because as I hold that address, I didn't say to be able to say, Mama, and so still, what is stopping? In fact, the NDC now has the majority of parliament, and you make a final. Then I'm LGBT, anti-LGBT bill on that so that what is stopping you from passing? Yeah.
Okay. Medasi Bebe, say with me highlight it. Say maybe there was a proposal for that. There was a private proposal for that, and I believe say the proposals no take effect, and it was due for the government to assent. It went through parliament. It went through all the processes. Senate Parliament, the executive arms of government, the president then, Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa, Obetumi assent keke, and I think it was rejected. We should be quite blunt to ourselves. It was rejected, and in the rejection, those who were not in favor of it, today, Senate Parliament processes, that bill has expired. So if it has expired, there is a need for another private member bill. And we are all citizens. We are saying that the discussion for LGBTQ is not even the point we should go there. As an African country, we have values and morals, our belief system. We believe that LGBTQI is not even a topic we should be able to discuss. Gender, as they say, is a social constructed system, phenomenon. If we believe, say, we are people that certain things are enshrined, it's just like telling a child, say, don't go and do this. Immediately you say, don't go and do this. That is what the child will go and do. It is better to say, you don't even bring the don'ts. And that is what we are standing on. As a social democrat, we believe it's LGBTQ is not even something that we should be even discussing. Because the more you talk about it, the more you are kind of like in people's consciousness. What you are saying. And we are saying that our belief system, our values, we don't appreciate that. It is not a model, yes, say to me, and one, we have been emphatic about it. The late President Jody Bansa made it evidentially clear. Now our president has also, re-emphasized, say, it is not something he's going to consider. And we in the NDC, we believe it's not something. That is why, if the NPP said they want to, why don't they make a private member bill? They should also put in a private member bill request. Or when they put it on, it will not work. We don't hijack the system like they have done per their actions and reactions that we have experienced over the 8 years. We don't hijack system. The legal system is free for everybody to use it. It is not even a case about say why is it that you can say to me make what would I say we should put in a request for that. We don't want to talk about that because it's not part of us. And we are saying that it goes back to the capitalist system to abuse the ordinary person. But these are the same people who are chanting on human rights. So what is a human right? What benefit is a human right that you are going to practice something at the end is going to have a repercussion on your life? And to the optics say, yeah, open what you want to use your sexual life for. It is to your own your choice. How can your choice something that just like say poisoning yourself? Would you allow a person to poison himself knowing that he said he wants to poison himself or she said she wants to poison himself just because you want it, so we should allow you to do that? No. You see, these are the fundamental questions. As I say, people are not going there. They are going around the bush trying to use other things to cover up. And I think so going forward, the LGBTQ, we have made a stand. And the stand is that no matter what, and to even talk about it, say, Obi Lincoln University, I will draw doctorate degree. Why are they giving doctorate degree? We must understand the fundamentals that it was what JDM stand for. That is what they have recognized. So when to me, into me, into me, and then when the chairman saying, they wouldn't even know him. Would they have known him? And I think, sir, it stands out all. Say, wait to me, Gina, baby, or Gina, na kase, wait here, and ya dear, me she keep me home. And I think, sir, it's a feather in the cap, as I always said. He has been leading as an example, and this is the kind of statesman that we always want. And I think it's a role model for the youth. These are the kind of leaders that we want. Just like how Kwame Nkrumah stood up. Just like how John Satamo stood up, just like how J.J. Rollins stood up. And these are values of a social democratic leadership. So we are happy. And we are saying that this is a sound warning to all other people. And I believe that right now, there should even be a legal system that wouldn't make people say certain things. Because as you know, last our previous president, or say, oh, a time is bound to happen. He doesn't have anything to do with that. Like seriously, even the Bible said, train up a child the way he should go.
that when he grows or she grows, they will never depart from it. So why should you leave everything to upstairs? It doesn't work like that. When we are modeling a nation, you are nurturing people, there is some rules and guidelines. You see, these things you are infringed upon these things. Don't do it. Culture is our heritage. So if to say back to then. If you don't believe in your culture, then why do you promote it? This is part of our culture. You know, gender is part of culture. So if we really want to keep our culture and build a society into the future that we want to build, I believe say LGBTQ is a no-no. And we don't even have to talk about it. But anytime it comes, you have to abash it. You have to clear it off. We don't need to give room for people to even talk about, discuss it. It's just like murder case. It's just like war. These are the things. So indirectly, these things have severe repercussions. They have severe repercussions. Just like discussing war, discussing coup. That is the meaning of LGBTQ plus. You know, we are African system that we cherish African values. And there is no way. Systems change, systems are dynamic, yes, we believe that, but the dynamism is supposed to conform to sustainable livelihood, healthy livelihood. That is what we are talking about. It's immediate. Say, they should go and put in a private member bill, just like somebody did at our time. And let's see how it goes. Why are they so sitting quiet? Why are they sitting quiet? A doctor said, I don't know my idea. I want to be put in private member bill. Okay,
yeah, somebody also want to ask, I think you made mention of a number of person over here. You don't even talk about it at all. Now, somebody will ask, if you've been firm enough to reject it, why is the bill? Because it's one of the things that your government in power, in opposition then, really used as a campaign to say LGBT buy and sharp. I mean, what is stopping you and what's causing the delay?
I believe so.
In the first place. So I didn't think that you pass a bill, no, in order to not entertain some of these things in the first place. Because if there's a bill, nobody will even dare talk about it. But why do we, there's a sort of laid back behind that? What's causing the delay?
Yeah, so for that, near me, Dina, you did say to me, pass a bill, and I am in support of that. As to take the legal steps, we leave that to the parliamentarians, and so I think it's also part of the advocacy. We could be able to champion our individual, interests to our public interest. It I believe that me anything able to me I'm making a benchmarker na LGBT I think it is a way forward. I am in for it, but I mean, let with other we leave it for the public. So we are looking forward, say, probably sooner than later, maybe somebody could put in a bill and we could be able to pass it through the legal structures and it will be assented on. I'm hopeful. I mean, we have not ended our term, and I believe with the percentage, the super majority that we have, I think gradually, things move step by step. Actually, Intermediate can say LGBTQ, it is not part of our campaign promises. We are consciously to deliver our campaign promises to the people of Ghanaian. When we reach how far we've gone, we can consider other secondary issues because we are not interested in that. We are interested in alleviating the poverty that has been rendered, the unemployment that this government, through the debt restructuring and the overbonding and the whatever haircuts, the IMF injunctions in utility bills. Those are the things that are primary to the governance currently. And I think we as a country, we are our interest, our main interest is in that. Whether we make an LGBT bill or not bill? Will it bring money to the people? Will it create employment? No. The big question is no. So we are focusing the first things first. So the resetting Ghana agenda, it is to provide and make access to other things individuals. If people are working, if people have food to eat, if people have work to do, if people can enterprise, who is going to talk about LGBT for what? For what purpose? If resources are utilized, the gold that we are mining up on license goes now, say ya cancer say you to me my brother, we all acknowledge it's not about LGBTQ. I mean, these people are just using certain things to polarize the system, but we are very cautious and we are certain, when we are able to deliver on our promises, the 24-hour economy, we are able to pay the first year students, we are able to give sanitary pads to the less privileged ladies who are not able to get her. All these things, Jumara is able to sponsor people, the Codex Corps is able to provide. We are in a modern system that we believe that ICT is the key to go, and AI is making tremendous impact. So we believe that these things are fundamental things. And it's a basic necessity, as I say to be. We are more concerned about these things. And at the end, I believe, LGBT or no LGBT, I mean, Ghana will still prosper, and the people will be happy with the government that they have.
Aren't you contradicting yourself here? Because you stood here and made mention of how you don't joke with your culture, your norms and traditions, your values. So if you say we you are just focused on making sure that you deliver your campaign promises. Don't you think you are contradicting yourself, or you want to in a way derail from the conversation?
No, so what I say is that the LGBTQ was proposed. We were against it during the late Professor Tanel's time. We didn't capture that in our destiny, but the NPP captured it and even brought it as a comprehensive education system. And we said, no, that cannot be possible. We have several issues boiling down on the economy. They are supposed to fix it, not LGBTQ. Just, do you know why? Probably they need assistance for certain things. They couldn't from taxation to production, couldn't produce enough, but rather went in for loans and were depending on foreign states and entities to get loans and bonds and taxes and other stuff. But we are saying that Africa must make good use of its resources. The people that we have, how well are we going to mobilize resources for our people when our people are okay and set forth? These decisions will not be a topic to this. So I don't believe I'm contradicting myself. I'm not contradicting myself, but all I'm just saying that there are priorities upon priorities and there are necessities. But as long as you see, the funny thing is that they had all the opportunity. They had the opportunity just to sign, assent, they couldn't do it. So now what we are going to do is that we have to go back. And we are saying that we have to go back. We have a 4 years mandate, which LGBTQ was not part of our 4 years mandate. If the NPP has 38 or 37, if they could be able to put in a bill, private member bill, and foster it and process it, the legal process will take action. That's what we don't stampede the legal system. We give way for things to flow. So if they are able to work things out, I believe the system will work for them. But we are not concerned on that. But we also believe that we are adhering to our values and our beliefs. So we will not infringe upon, trying to adopt LGBTQ into our curriculum system. Like, seriously, who does that to a nation? Nation workers. You can't say you love your people when you initiate things that will not help them. And this is not just the first one. There are other bills and things that was not in the interest of the Ghanaian populace. So I think in the right direction. We are here, we as a government is working to make sure that we provide the basic needs of the people. Other things will be considered as we move along. We still have 2 years to go.
Okay. Let me take this opportunity to go for a quick commercial break. So this is still no Premier Live on Today Ghana News TV. I mean, try my host,
Oh, say yay! African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026. Society, Yapa Huntima Verve, Francis Consuls, Eto Esa Afro as Bitesa, and what Ghana, any Africa, some showcase creativity, and what global stage. So we are artists, fashion designer, chef, musician, and empo, cultural entrepreneur, and woman. So what the African young creativity, every global stage, and what Europe. Ya boy ya pomo atuho. Ya show registration I say, and it's 2% participating. And now on getting more information there. And you contact you and so +374 558 508 11 and +233 542 545 815. Following our Facebook, Ope and Sembisa and na bibi piata e fire home. Ubetimi I email and so ewo African Cultural Festival 2018 @gmail.com. African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026, made of way. Africa on display, culture without borders. Yeah, that was it,
7. It is still the Kremlin live on Today Ghana News TV. And they may say the media did no topics in your hot and I would want you to also add your voice. Please, if you are on a streaming platform, especially on Facebook, Pacho, share the link. Share the link. Make sure you share the link. Share it to your friends, loved ones, everybody of interest. Now, when you send your message, I'll be so glad to read it out. But now I've had some of the messages coming in, and I'll take this few minutes to read some of them out and also continue the conversation. I think it's getting more interesting and more hotter. Okay, so Nyami Bill says, no LGBT in Ghana. President Mama should be firm and strong watching from Nkwanta in the Uti region. We, if in Yami Abi more say LGBT or Ghana had a lie. Emma Sunday, Emma Suchna. Na President Mama Unjina Brani. Bewa Kudu for Tina Brani. Also, or share if in Nkwanta in the eastern, in the Uti region. I beg your pardon. Sansuna Dennis and Daba says, good evening, Yabua. I'm also doing monitoring from Accra. Dennis, make sure say what share am I now Jamaican intimate poetry. Away from Robert, I say the government of Ghana is doing justice for all Africans. God bless John Dramani Mahama, President. Kimbe Edasi, say Ghana party. John Dramani Mahama, or the Bia Guna Paisu. I'm said the Bibini Ghana in Yamatoye, Yamishan, and become person. John Dramani Mama is the second Kwame Nkrumah. He's the face of Africa, and I think Makai we if we operate to Benado say more fire, my brother Edinam. So share fee we Robert Kimpisi or share Sansuna Penifuso. The program has been interesting. We are still here with Yao. Yao, and to be on the best of the so now. Now, whether it's the NDC or whether the NPP did not do it, the NDC is now in power. Some of the wrongs are NPP, is the reason why you are in power today. Going forward, what should Ghanaians expect? Because as Ghanaians or Africans as we are, wouldn't say customs and values and norms, you're holding in a high esteem in fact to from Bra and Kolasoba. Now, no matter how hard we talk about it, I'm sure I could do collaboration, and you don't know, and you can't tell the generation. Some other countries have been firm, say, the LGBT, and some come once because we're then I'm from to say, you can't send me to you, be better. It won't come back. But Omo banning out, just a much crampona, you find yourself wanted. Going forward, what should the Ghanaian expect from your government?
You with us, baby. Jidi say, Sani Amidi Kanka, Akonye Biara, a bit me a fast, I make sure say, you become once a me and come once a Empo say, Adia Yechiwadi, the Abbey Yechiwadia, Yem Emrano, bet me a canon, they say, LGBTQ there. We wouldn't be able to practice it, wouldn't be able to engage in the conversations. I think that is also a step in the right direction. So, Senamika, we are still in government and we are looking forward that at the right time, when it's necessary, we'll be able to put that forward. Currently, the government is focused on the various inequalities, disadvantage, debt, or how inherited from the past governance. We are concerned in making sure that we deliver our basic necessities, give work for our youth, make sure that our women are treated well, make sure that the schools have the necessary facilities to be able to operate the free senior high school, not the kind that we inherited. Into going forward, all these things are normal when the system is working. You see, the irony of the system is that because people don't want the system to work, there will be a lot of challenges that will come up. But when the system is working, some of these things, people will not even give an ear to some of these things. Look at the cocoa sector, for example, like this. Engineer can say the LGBTQ case is a no-no for us. And we are looking up to government to make sure that as long as the president is firm, institutions and structures will also affirm it and be grounded so that there will not be any alarm, any cause of alarm in the future. I am certain that the John Dramani Mahama that we know, the nation builder, the reset agenda, the takeoff president will be able to do that for us. I believe so.
Okay. Order communications team member for the NDC South. Yeah, it is now work for position B.
Patrol you saw a registration new member registration Sunday and Monday 31st and a baby into Ejumano de Yebeye now so say Busa proper kwemu say to Niama answer because Ejumano koyena and Crofona Union Quaco Ejumano almost Sharan for to me Buana Amejumana Kofa a samba at this one. With the position the ever copa na ha so never first place I ever done it. Say next time I ever sing a schedule. I mean say Chebiano the bar the position in the better crime. The two abundant. Actually, there are two positions I'm actually working on. I'm still doing my research and making sure we serve the people right and the people get what they deserve so that their vote is not wasted like the previous years. And people take things for granted. But we believe that we have youth and the leaders are now going forward. We are accountable for the people. And that is the transformation that took place. Yesterday, we put our grounds on the NDC, power, and a Krapim South for over 24 years. Honorable Lawrence George Wonu, it to me fan to my fry. Now, one day a woman say we are doing amazingly well. So some of these successes and some of the path that we have started chatting. The idea you say maybe to me and say now they can taste a breeze, live a breeze, enjoy a breeze. It's coming live this Easter, and the Easter the Niani Mountains. Easter be any baby Niani Mountains. We will be welcoming everybody to every mountains, and more of the achievements are NDC, Honorable Lawrence George Wonu, and within the municipality, so Honorable Osayo Fair, and also Obon Modern Obojuma, Oyanyama. There are lots of structural changes and our policy changes. Internal, yeah, we want to serve. So we are capable and we are ready. At the right time, our positions will be made public.
Right. Thank you for your time this evening. Did you say Yami Aduma next week? You know, Africa Coistem, the Navy show. Remember, I'm smart.
Now, if you also know, this Emma incoming youth commander, Epiapem South. Abduana Nimru Brahima, or incoming youth commander. I know the I ready. It's proper poem. I just say, oh, to me, a side. The which Mebunu, a lot of challenges. And I think, we are the people who can stand in for them and be able to address that challenges. And he's a very capable, strong, agile, prudent manner. Very, very versatile and friendly, and very, very knowledgeable too. And he's a grassroots man. And I think a grassroots will be favored and will be happy to see him lead the constituency as a youth organizer.
Thank you. It's been honor having you in the studio, yeah.
I'm also grateful.
Other associate channels and most of the comments nearby. God richly bless you. Let me take this opportunity to also say a big thank you to my producer director, my boss, Mr. Seth Adi. And you see when you need me to be so they could be in and send him a payer. Come sure say everything will be possible. A big thank you to you, sir. Nyami Aduma next week will be coming away with another insightful and interesting episode of No Primary Live on Today Ghana News TV. Meeting Lawrence Apini about Ocean Baby Abudi Namaji also. It is 46 minutes past 7, and then I say appointed. But don't worry, we'll come back again next week Thursday with an interesting topic to discuss. Please don't go nowhere. Make sure you stick to us and all of our programs. Be part of it and share your view on it. Thank you so much. Nyami Aduma na se debi share. Bye.
The greatness that is within us will always outweigh the injustices that have been visited against us. Despite what we've been through for centuries, our survival is a testament to that fact. In closing, I would like to offer this quote by Nelson Mandela. And he says, "Our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizing, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. Truth begins with